Alright, so in this video I'm going to just do a brief description of what the R program is and then some ways to use it. So once you've installed R, it should appear on your desktop. And then if we open R, this opens up a statistical software package that basically allows us to enter data. Now the only thing wrong with this statistical package is it requires you to have some understanding of how to program. Meaning you have to type in certain commands to get it to do what you want, but if you type it in incorrectly, it's going to create an error. So it's not user friendly, and so for that reason I'm going to create some videos on how to use it. So let's just go over some basic things. If I want to input just a random list of data, say I want to do data analysis on students' test scores, I can just type in test scores, and then I type in a less than dash with a C, the C meaning we're going to create a column of data, and then we type in our test scores. So let's say I have a student with 100, a student with a 93, a student with an 86, a student with an 84, a student with a 78, a student with a 45, a student with a 62, a student with a 71, and then a student with a 75. And then we close that down, and then if we type in test scores and hit enter, it will now show that the R program has read our data and is ready to be worked with. So now if we want to calculate the mean, the average test score, we just type in mean of test scores and we hit enter and it calculates the average. If we want to do if we want to create a histogram, we can type in, the command for that is HIST for histogram test scores, and it creates a histogram. So it does everything that we've been doing in class manually very quickly, provided that you know the codes required to make it do that. For example, if I type in histogram of test scores, it says error, could not find the function histogram. So you have to be very careful with typing it in and knowing exactly what to type in to get the program to do what you want. And so for that reason, we're going to just do a couple tutorials. Now, so far I've used just what's called the R console up here in the top left hand corner. I've used just what's called R console. And the issue with R console is if I exit out of here, it'll say save image. I'll hit yes. Now when I go back in to open it, I go to file. You can see I no longer have the option to open an image. So what that does is it basically takes a screenshot of what you've done, and then you can go back and look at your code. But if you want to actually do any more with that, there's no way to do it unless you were to go in and manually type all that in information in again. So what we can do to alleviate that is we can go here to open file, open script. I apologize, we'll go to file, new script, and we open up this what's called R editor. And what this does is it allows you to type in the commands and then run them over here in this box, in the R console box. So now what we're going to do is we're going to type in test scores less than dash C, and then I'll just type in a series of random test scores: 100, 94, 92, 88, 84, 78, 68, 65, 59, 51, 36. And then if I hit enter, you can see nothing has appeared over here. Now, so we go back to our editor and we go up to where we're sitting on top of the line that we just typed in. And then now we can go over here to this left side, over here you'll see it'll say run line or selection. So if we click on that box, it runs that line that we just typed in over here. So now if we want to do mean of test scores and then come over here and click run line, it'll then calculate the mean for us. Now there's a shortcut. Hashtag. Hashtags are used to type something into R where you don't want it to be read as a code. So hashtag shortcut to run a line is press Control plus R. So hit Control R. that's going to be the command to make the. So if I go up here to mean test scores and I press the control button and the R button at the same time, you can see over here it ran the same command, and it saved me having to go up here and click it with our mouse. So now let's say I type in histogram of test scores, and then I go up here and click control run. It's going to tell me there's an error. Rather than having to retype anything in, I can just go up here and find my mistake and delete it, and then hit control R, and it will run it. So the convenience with using the R editor is you can, if you make mistakes, you can go back and edit it. Whereas over here, if I type in histogram of test scores, there's no way for me to go back up to this other line to change it. So I would have to just type it in again. So rather than typing in it again, our editor allows us to go back and change it, and then we can just rerun the line. So it's a much more convenient way of doing things. Now, also something that's convenient is we have the save. If we notice here, our console has a series of commands up here at the top left in this area. We have the open, we have the save, we've got the print, we've got the stop. If we go over to our editor, we have this save command. Here's what's convenient about this. If we click on it, it's going to allow us to save the script. So I'm going to save my script to the desktop, and I'm going to name my script test scores, and then hit save. Now nighttime comes, I have ran all my data, I don't have all my work done, and but I don't want to quit, because if I quit I want to lose everything. Now that allows us to not lose everything. So if I exit out of R, no, I don't want to save anything, and then I go back into R the next day, I can go up here to File, Open Script. If I go to Desktop, Test Scores is now showing up on the desktop. So if I open it, it's now going to take me back to exactly where I was yesterday. Now it doesn't have it showing up on the R console. The console does not save, but the editor does. So it's very convenient though, because then we just go to the top and hit Control R, and it runs the first line. Control R again runs the second line. The third line. Control R runs the fourth line. So we can just hit Control R a series of times, and we can run all of our codes that we had the previous day. All of these codes that we typed in the previous day can be ran again without having to type it all in. So that's some interesting stuff we can do with that. Now we can also do a summary of test scores, and then Control R, and that's going to give us the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the average, the third quartile, the maximum value, all at the exact same time. I can also do a box plot of test scores, and then do Control R, and now instead of giving me a histogram, it draws a box and whisker plot. So there's all kinds of commands that we can do with that, and I just wanted to create this video to get you used to how to work with R and how to use this R editor.